Hey, what is up guys, this is Eskar. I am back with another video for Academy FM. Today we're going to be talking about mastering MIDI. So we're going to go through shortcuts, tips, and tricks on MIDI notes. Basically, how to use a piano roll in a faster way and in a better way. How to be a better producer, how to be a faster producer, utilizing the power tool which is piano roll, which is a piano roll on FL Studio. So start off the tutorial, I'm going to show you guys some tips on how to work faster. To be honest, it's all about shortcuts. It's all about knowing the program. So I'm gonna show you guys a melody that I just made. I literally just created for this tutorial. If you want to use it in your own song, go for it. So this is how it sounds. So we're gonna go through something that it's called tools. FL Studio has a couple of options which are under the piano rolls options. If you click on the left top, there's this thing called tools, and it has a lot of options that can help turn your melodies from good to fucking great, from sick to awesome, from dope to insane. So there are a couple of options over here. Some of them don't really work at all to be some of them are just for doing some small details, but what I love the most, for example, the best one I love, for example, if you want to make an ARP out of this, FL Studio has a really quick way of doing it, which is if you open up this one, it will tell you all the, right here it has all the shortcut options. So for example, I want to make this chords, this chord progression into ARP. How do I do that? You click Control A and it automatically turns it into an ARP. However, if you want to make it faster or slower, this is like 1/8, this is 1/4, and so on. If you want to make it slower, I really tend to use this one to make my music more complete. For example, I have this piano and then maybe I want to add like a little pluck with this arpeggiator that's following the notes of the chords. You can do this really easy, really quick, and it just doesn't have this kind of options. You can use any kind of pattern. If you find a track that has a cool ass pattern, it's gonna help you out. If you can just find it over here. It has some riff machines, presets. It's really cool. Maybe you want to make it, you want to flip it. Maybe you want to alternate it. Maybe you want to block it. You want to synchronize it as block. Maybe you want to synchronize it to the chords. Maybe to the time. So it sounds pretty cool, but we don't want to do that right now. So another cool thing to be a faster producer, let's say you want to cut a part of the chords. In order to do that, if you click shift, if you click right shift, your right shift and left mouse button, your cursor, it's gonna turn into a slicing tool. As you can see, it looks like a little bird, but it's actually a slicing tool. So if you, like I said, right shift, left click, it cuts any part of the melody of the MIDI notes that you have. So you can chop it or you can do anything you want. And there's another option which is right shift and right click instead of left click, and that cuts the smallest portion of what you're cutting. So let's do that. Let's try it once. As you can see, it cut it the smallest part. Maybe if I cut it like this, it will cut the one on the left, if that's how it works. And yes, that's how it works. So that really helps you sometimes. For example, maybe this is all the way here and this is like this as well. You can just cut this like this, utilizing right shift, right click, like you can see right here. And that saves a lot of time. The other options on tools, we got one of my other favorites, which is Strum. And strum's basically playing something as a guitar. Instead of all the notes at the same time, you got this option, which is strum. And in order to do it, just Alt S, and it would automatically strum the notes for you. It sounds pretty sexy, but I mean, if you want to have it faster, or even faster, you can select all the timing over here and strength, all the tension, velocity. As you can see down here, it also automates the velocity. It's insane. It's all the options you have with these tools that Piano Roll has. If you go into it, you will find way more. Maybe the chop one. Maybe instead of sounding so slow, maybe you want to sound it choppy. You click Alt U. My bad. You click Alt U, and it would automatically chop it into a time that's linked to the snap that you have. So let's play it. Maybe you want to use this for a drop and it was too slow. So you can just use a chopping option and make your rhythm, make your own rhythm. It absolutely changes the... Instead of having a cut, like I showed you guys, right shift, left click, instead of having to cut each sound and taking 20 minutes to do it, 30 minutes per note, you don't have to do that. You just have to click Alt U and it will be done for you. It's amazing. Another cool, great shortcut is, for example, let me do this for you real quick. For example, let's say we got little short notes and we want to make it faster. We want to make it longer. So let's make it actually short. Like let's pretend we opened it like that. They don't have to be the same length in order for this that I'm about to show you to work. So we have this. Let's see how it sounds. That's pretty boring. So there's a little shortcut. If you click Alt L, all the notes automatically get longer. And basically you can have some control over it, whether it's the gap, like if you don't really want it like to touch every next note, because the length of your notes are really important. If you want to add some variation so it sounds more human, if you want to chop the chords, if you want to use the actual length of the track, if you just want to make it more vary it a little bit more but use the same length, you can do it. But what this does, what Alt L or Control L does, it just makes the notes longer, so it's not as boring. I'm pretty sure this is very helpful for some of you. Another tip I have is, for example, let's say we're using this same note on this whole piano roll. If you click Control G, it will merge similar notes. It's not always needed, but sometimes you might need it for something. You might be, oh, I want to merge this note. Instead of deleting and making this longer, which it's time wasting, just Control G. Oh, my bad. Control G. Inside piano roll, Control G, and it will, as you can see right here, I'm actually gonna have to zoom it in. Give me a second. As you can see right here, these notes were separated, but if you click Control G, it will merge them, the ones that are the same. And in this case, I don't want this to happen, but sometimes you do want that. Maybe I'm making a pad and I don't want the notes to change that much, to have that much articulation. That's what you can use it for. So maybe I made it longer. How do I cut it? Left click, right shift. Another thing, if you want to select a bunch of sounds, click Control, left click, and you can drag it. You can select the ones that you want. If you want to, for example, I don't want to select this one, click Shift and Control, click on it, and it will remove it from this selection. And that's a really cool one. Another thing, in order to move this chords to wherever the hell you want, There's if you click shift and then you move the arrows, you can move it anywhere you want, whether it's up one semitone or 4 bars to the front or 4 bars to the, you can move it anywhere. You don't have any limit. But if you click control, you can take it 1 octave higher or 1 octave lower. And that's another awesome tip. I really tend to use that one maybe when I make a melody and I want to add a bass line, and maybe the bass line's too high or in octaves. I just add this thing. I just open up another, let's say I make a bass line. I paste it. Maybe this is too low. Oh, I want to have it too high. Control up, and that's it. You made it an octave higher. It really saves a lot of time. Another dope thing that you can do is Control A. When you click Control A, you select all of it. Maybe if you use Word and Excel and all those basic school programs, you know that some of those shortcuts work for this as well, such as Control A and then Control X for cutting. There's so many options that you can do with all the shortcuts to save time. There's another amazing shortcut. When you click left alt and right click, it gives you an option of having a playback of the chords that you have in front of you. So for example, let's click alt and right click and check what happens. So for example, whenever I'm making a chord, let's pretend I'm making one over here. Let's actually make one later. This is a really cool tip. You might be thinking right now, like, how can I even use that? All right, I'm going to show you guys now the next part, which is being a better producer using secret stuff that FL Studio has on its piano roll. Because whatever I was teaching you before, it was to work faster. But now I'm going to try to teach you how to work better, how to be a better producer. So first of all, I'm going to delete all this. We don't like it. We're going to delete it. We're going to make a melody from scratch, utilizing this help from this thing. So one cool tip is FL Studio has a stamp tool. Stamp tool means it basically gives you options of how scales work or how scales are made of. So for example, let's make a harmonic minor. Actually, not. Let's make something different. Let's make like Lydian, like a Lydian D chord. Scale. So as you can see right here, as soon as you click any note, if you normally click anything, it's just one note. But if you select the stamp tool, maybe I want harmonic minor, maybe D. As you can see, it's a different combination of notes. That's what scales are. 7 notes that sound good together in the 12 sounds range. But okay, now that we have this, how do we use it? So it used to be really complicated, and we needed to make it longer and then duplicate it. But now FL Studio doesn't even, you don't even need to do any of that. Now there's a helper. There's so much help now. When you click on helpers, there's a scale highlighting now. Scale highlighting option which highlights the notes that you can only use inside a scale. For example, melodic minor. Automatically gives you the notes that a melodic minor scale has. As you can see right here, there's no this key is white, but it's highlighted. It's not highlighted, it's shadowed. So that means anything that has a shadow means that you cannot use it because it's not part of the scale. So another helper thing is, for example, let's make it, maybe I'm doing a remix of something that's E harmonic minor. So let's click on E and then harmonic minor. And now FL Studio tells us which one it is. So now let's make a chord progression. Let's make something basic, really basic. just something as basic as that, to be honest. Now, this is too high for a bass, so I click Control and down, so it takes it octaves lower. As you can see. Now, if you want to duplicate this, for example, you just click Control B. Another great tip. Control B and you just duplicate it forward. Ooh, how fast is that? Instead of having to put it again and again and again and again and again. So now, I wanna do this. I wanna duplicate this upwards like I just did right now. How do I do that? In order to do that, you select all of it, click in Control and left click. Click Shift and then drag whatever notes you had selected. Click on the ones that you have selected. Now you let go of Shift so you can go upwards or downwards, and there you go. You duplicated the whole thing upwards. So now we want to make some basic chords, really basic ones. So by how FL Studio is telling me, since this one's shadowed, I know I cannot use it, so I cannot have a major E, simply because FL Studio tells me that I cannot. So for example, in this one, I cannot have a minor G, simply because it's not part of the scale, and it's pretty cool. This is actually augmented. And then maybe this one's some minor, and then this one's gonna be major. These are pretty classical sounding things, but if, for example, whenever I'm making a chord, instead of having to click here and then play to see if it sounds good, now I can just click Alt and right click. How fast is that? Is that gonna save you time? Hell yes, it's gonna save you a lot of time. So now, let's go back to the melody that I made first. There you go. I got the melody. So, there's another cool thing, which is ghost notes. Ghost notes are, if you have a bunch of piano rolls, sometimes when you enter, for example, I have this melody. All right, let's make this. Sometimes, so I have this melody right here, right? And I want to make the same thing on another piano roll, but I don't know, like I only want some parts, or I want to play around with it. So what I do is I open up the other piano roll, and as you can see, you don't see anything. But if you click Alt V, some ghost notes appeared behind the piano roll. So now you have an image of the notes that are being used in the other piano roll. So maybe I want to make like a ARP with this one, using the same notes. Just like that. Let me actually activate it because it's not. As you can see, you can make like some weird stuff thanks to you seeing the other. So it's about like, so just about playing. The other thing is, if you click on view, if you click on the helpers and then ghost channels, there's an option below that's called editable or editable. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, I speak Spanish. If you click on it, you can not only see them, but also edit the ones on the other piano. So for example, if I notice right here that maybe there's a chord that would sound better, I just edit it out. I don't have to get out. I don't have to go in the other piano roll and then use that. So that's another great tip for being a better producer. Also, another thing, and last thing for this video, for this tips and tricks in piano roll, you have control over literally you have control over anything you want. You can have control of your pan, the panning of your notes. For example, maybe I want to make this note go all the way to the right, and maybe this note all the way to the left, and maybe this note all the way to the centered. And if you play it, you can get some cool effects with this thing. So not only for panning, but you can make anything, really, note velocity, which is volume, note release, aftertouch, fine pitch, channel pitch, panning. Not only that, but for example, let's say I have, I don't know, let's say I have like an EQ or something. Let's open up an EQ. And maybe, yeah, let's just open that preset. Maybe I want to edit events in piano roll of this one. Maybe I want to high pass it and then leave it normal, and then high pass it and then do it normal. How cool is that? If you click right click, it won't sound like a snare, but right now it was sounding like a snare because I used the the left click, but you need to use the right click. Difference: left click, this is how it sounds, like a snare. Right click, it's smooth like a pyramid. So this is, you have all the advantages in front of you. You gotta use these things because you're gonna be not only a better producer. If you're making, just think about this. If you're making good music and you work faster, you're gonna be making double the good music. So just think about that. Hopefully this video helped you out. This was another Academy FM tutorial. I am Eskar, and I hope all of you have a great day. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. So see you guys later. Bye bye.